The passage of the reproductive health bill in Congress took 14 years, but a major focus of the debate before the voting is how a father and a son will cast their vote. Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile was opposed to the bill and was one of the 8 that voted against its approval in this. Congressman Jack Ponce Enrile voted for the passage of the bill in the House. 2 different votes from a father and a son came as a surprise to many. Why and what could be the reasons on their diverging positions? And joining us tonight is Congressman Jack Enrile. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Robert. Good evening, Isabella.
So why did you vote for the approval of the RH bill? Somehow people had the impression that you supported your father's position. And how much influence did your mother have on you, hoping you will vote against it since she was a former ambassador to the Holy See in the Vatican?
Well, initially I took the position similar to my father. About 2 years ago, he and I were talking about it, and we both were of the same opinion that the bill probably would not be something that we would support. However, over the course of 2 years, I had the opportunity to visit certain parts of this country and really go down to the barangay level. And in those occasions, I had actually interacted with our kababayans. There have been many occasions where they had voiced their opinions on RH and reproductive health and the access to these means of contraceptions. And that sort of changed my opinion as far as the validity and the importance of this measure. And over the course of the last couple of years, I have had the opportunity to perhaps rethink my position. And not too long ago, perhaps over the course of the last 2 or 3 months, I've had 2 or 3 opportunities to discuss the measure with my father. And I have had told him on one occasion at least that I was going to support this measure. And I voted for its passage, and on both last Wednesday and Monday night's I'm glad that I was able to contribute in its victory.
So the vote for the bill was a conscience vote. If it was for every congressman, including you, how important is this measure to the government's program of responsible parenthood? What good will it do for families, especially the marginalized sector?
Well, it's extremely important on two factors. One, it will open up education to the majority of those who are interested in that particular issue. And second, it will allow access to certain methods of contraception to those who are seeking to be able to regulate or perhaps limit the size of their families based on what they think is the appropriate size. It is still up to the family, the mother and the father, to decide what the ideal size of their family is. And now they have the option, they have access to certain methods of should they decide to perhaps delay or perhaps limit the number of children that they can support.
So now looking at the position of the church, these who are against it, they say the bill promotes abortion. What is your opinion on this, sir?
I have read the bill. I have read the House version, the latest version. I have studied the amendments that were introduced over the course of the last week, and there is nothing there that shows or proves to me that this is a pro-abortion bill. If anything else, it is a pro-life measure because it seeks to alleviate poverty in the countryside. It will promote responsible parenthood. It will provide women with access to contraception should they want it. It will educate women and men on reproductive health issues, and it will provide a broader understanding of this particular issue of population size. It impacts the economy.
So should condoms and contraceptives be provided only to poor families based on the national targeting system of the DSWD?
I think if you're going to introduce this kind of measure and pass it into law, you must make it accessible to all, throughout all economic classes and whoever wants it.
So now looking at education information, should sex education really be a must? Don't you think it will promote sexual promiscuity among our young people?
I don't think so. I believe that when you educate a person, for as long as the person who is actually doing the educating is qualified and has the necessary credentials, I believe the right message will be transmitted, and I believe that it will be a bonus and a plus for our children if they know what the realities of life are at an age where I believe it is appropriate.
So adding to that, what age do you think is to teach sex education? What grade?
I believe around grade 6 or grade 7 would be an appropriate age, because that is when most of our children are beginning to get into enter puberty. And I believe that it is time that they understand the changes in their biological system so that they may be prepared.
So do you think that's going to be an issue, since a lot of the schools here are Catholic schools?
Well, it probably will be an issue for the Catholic schools, and we must respect their faith, but they must also understand that it is the reality of today, and we must keep up with the times and keep abreast of the developments of our population.
So going back now to your father, how often did you discuss the bill? Were there instances that there were heated discussions between the both of you?
No, my father has always maintained the position that he allows his children to think for themselves, and I thank him for that. The same for my mother. And there were no heated debates. We discussed the bill up to about 10 o'clock last Wednesday evening. I was on the floor waiting to vote, and he and I were having a telephone conversation, but after I told him of my decision to vote for the measure, he kept it at that, and I guess the records will prove that I voted yes on both occasions.
So now going back to the church's stand, they said they will campaign against those who voted for the bill. Should this be a concern for you, since you're running for the Senate next year?
Well, obviously, we would want to get as many votes if we are a candidate. It's always a numbers game. I will respect the position of the church. I will respect the position of all the members of the Catholic Church. I would hope that they would measure a candidate not only based on the vote on one issue, of other issues, and I hope that they will take the other factors into consideration.
So now that the RH bill has been passed in second reading with the Senate and third and final reading in Congress, and tomorrow the BICAM, do you see any hitches or any obstacles that actually may delay the passage of this bill?
Well, since the President has certified this as a priority bill of his, I would hope that once they come up with the matrices by tomorrow, and they start the discussions and deliberations on the bicameral conference committee, I would hope that both panels will come with a better version. And hopefully they will be able to integrate the best provisions from both the House bill and the Senate version into something that will really help the Filipino people. I believe that they have time to get this through if both sides are serious about during the committee meetings over the next course of the next 2 days. Perhaps we can see this bill signed into law by Friday.
But sir, since you said there's still going to be discussions tomorrow, maybe some amendments, don't you think that the RH bill is still not 100% sealed?
Well, there's always that chance where there could be a delay, but I think that given the number of years that this has been run through both houses of Congress, I think the leadership of both houses will take it upon themselves to come up with a good compromise in order for this bill to be signed into law to benefit the Filipino people.
And so any final words? It's been a very long and tiring process.
Well, I think this measure is a measure whose time has come. Makakatulong po ito sa nakararami po natin mga kababayan ang access po sa ganitong mga klaseng bagay na nahihirapan na maghanap ng pantustos nila at kakainin nila sa pang-araw-araw at wala silang pagkakataon na ma-avail ang ganitong klaseng mga means of contraception. At hopefully, makakatulong rin po ito sa ekonomiya kung sakaling po matutulungan ang ating mga kababayan na maiangat ang kanilang kabuhayan at lalong-lalo na pag mabigyan na po ng access at edukasyon ng ating kabataan hinggil dito sa napaka-importanting topic o issue na sa buhay po nila.
Okay, on that note, thank you very much for joining us tonight on NewsLife. That was Congressman Jack Ponce Enrile Jr. Thank you, sir.
Robert, salamat. Isabella, maraming salamat.